be a sponge, and then bring the juice.
By focusing on your improvement, by focusing on your progress, and eliminating any fixed mindset that you may have and acts of perfectionism, then you encourage your own mastery.
On some level, we do what we want to do 24 hours a day. Now, sometimes it may not seem like that, but if I'm choosing to work instead of sleep, what I'm actually saying is keeping my job is more important than sleeping.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting beat. What can I do to get over this hump? So mentally, that's when I kind of put that forefront, like, hey, it's either all or nothing.
I like to put failure in quotations because I don't believe that failure is true failure if you're looking at it with the right mindset.
The truth is, the journey to greatness is hard. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and every day you have to decide what you value, what you want to pursue, and what you want to achieve. And if you dig deep enough, if you push hard enough, we all have what it takes to be great. Welcome to the Edge of Greatness. Hello and welcome back to From the Edge. Before I get to today's episode about how things are going, I've got 3 real quick announcements. The first one is we're 2 months out from the Edge of Greatness Summit. I have secured some incredible speakers and presenters that are going to be sharing their experiences and knowledge with you to help you become the best version of yourself. So if that sounds intriguing to you, let's get you on the list, sign you up. And again, this is a free summit. This is something that I was hoping to give back to the people who have been following my journey, who have been a part of my success, and maybe help them get something more out of what I've gotten out of this project. So, head on over to the edgeofgreatnessproject.com, set up for the Edge of Greatness Summit, and you'll get some interesting information over the next few months as I start to piece together these presenters and their stories and what they're going to be providing. So that's part 1. Part 2, if you haven't already, I would love to hear how we're doing with the podcast. So a review, a rating on the show on either Apple or Spotify now does it, would be incredibly helpful for getting this out there to other people. So if you've found value in what I'm doing and what this show has done for you, I'd love to hear what you think and help somebody else along the way. That'd be great. The last thing is I've been working on this newsletter for a little while now. It's also on the website. So while you're there setting up for the summit, check out the newsletter. I think that you guys, if you're someone who has been enjoying what we're doing throughout the podcast, this is just another way for me to give you more than what I've been given with the show. So hopefully you can find some value in those things, and I would love to see everyone participating in something within that realm. So, but for today, oh man, I'll tell you what, it was a challenging week for me. It was. I don't know why, but 5 a.m. hurt every single day this week, and it was not something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to get moving. I didn't want to get going, but there's an interesting thing that's happened. So I've created some incredible momentum over the last few weeks, and I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want the ball to stop rolling. So I think that helped me this week while it was hard for me to get up, to actually get out of bed. So a few things happened once I decided to get up. First is, as hard as it was to get up each day, I still found myself getting a lot of work done once I decided to get moving. Once I made it down to the office, once I made it in front of my computer, I got stuff done. And I attribute that to this idea of momentum, that if we can get the ball rolling, eventually all we have to do is keep it rolling. And that was kind of the one thing for me this week that was really cool, is that I didn't have to fully get the ball rolling again, because I didn't skip any days. I didn't stop doing what I was doing. I just struggled with getting started. And by working through that struggle, by working through those difficulties, I actually found that I got better at doing what I'm doing right now. And I think that's one of the big things when it comes to momentum is that we all have these lofty goals in our hearts and our minds. I know we do. There's very few people out there that if you ask them that, what do you want to accomplish? It's going to be something that is either nothing or small. We all want to do big things. We all want to do great things. The first step is often the problem. If you're somebody, and again, I'm going to revert back to some of my experiences, but if you want to lose weight, that first step is the hardest. Getting through the door is the hardest. And then once you're through the door, you just got to keep going through the door and stop worrying about everything else. But if you stop going through the door and you lose that momentum, getting back through the door is then hard again. If we're pushing a boulder up a mountain or up a hill, eventually we're going to get to a point where the hill levels out or we start to come down the other side. And once we do, it's going to roll on its own. The hard part, though, is getting it started, getting it moving up the hill. And once you're working something up a hill, if you stop, getting it started again is 1,000 times harder. And I think that's something we often forget is that it may be hard now, but it's so much harder to start over. It's so much harder to get it going again. I don't know how many of you out there have climbed hills or mountains or walked up large inclines and steep hills and terrain, but taking a break is worse than just muscling through the difficult moment. I've had several moments where I was climbing with a pack on and trying to get up a hill or a small mountain. I don't like calling it mountains because it's not like the ones you see on the pictures with the snow caps. But anyway, as I'm climbing, my legs are burning. It hurts. It sucks. But if I keep putting one foot in front of the other, I'm more likely to make it to the top than if I stop and take a break. Because once I stop and take a break, all of these thoughts of, oh man, I got to put my pack back on. I got to take another step up the hill. How bad do I really want to get to the top? All of those things start to creep in. And then you look down the hill and you go, it'd be a lot easier just to kind of like slide back down, start back over. I don't really care about what's up there right now. And I think that's a lot of the things that we are chasing in life. We look at those things and we go, do I really care? And we make excuses for why we don't, instead of pushing the boulder, getting it rolling, making it happen. It's time to start to push, let's get the ball rolling. And at the end of the day, even if it just starts to budge a little bit, you're starting to break that inertia. You're starting to get things in the right direction. And if you keep pushing, eventually all you have to do is keep it rolling. But the first step is to get it going. So one of the big things for me this week is appreciating the momentum that I've created and appreciating that while there have been some hard things and I didn't necessarily want to do all of them, the momentum I've created, I didn't want to break, and I didn't. The hardest part happened a few weeks ago, and now I am getting to enjoy the success of putting in the hard work. So I hope that it helps to hear some of my struggles. I hope that it helps to know that we all have our battles and our demons and our different challenges to overcome. I just want to hope inspire you to take that first step. I want you to create some momentum. I want you to get that ball rolling, because at the end of the day, if you can do that, success is just around the corner. So keep fighting hard, guys. Keep reaching for the stars. Fall flat on your face, but remember, whenever we fall, always get up. Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness Podcast.